back. Did you find Lucas?
Yes. He's fine. I don't know what Gustav was so worried about. He'll be back tonight.
Thank you, Nathan. I really appreciate what you did.
Welcome to the last review of Season 9 of Whencallstheheart. We are in the second half of episode 12 of Season 9. We started off with that scene of Elizabeth running into Nathan. Nathan came back home safe and sound. Nathan told her that Lucas is fine, that he is returning home tonight, and I'm pretty sure that made her feel really comforted at the fact that her boyfriend is safe and that he is coming home soon, and I bet she misses him a lot. And it's funny, Nathan yeah, Gustav, I don't know why he was worried. Nathan had that instinct, Elizabeth, you were worried about Lucas as well. She thanked him again, and again, Nathan is a great friend to her and Lucas.
You know, you could do a lot worse than marrying Bouchard. Try not to lose him like you lost me. Oh. Better be careful, people are gonna start talking.
That is basically a stamp of approval that Nathan gave to Elizabeth in getting married to Lucas. Nathan and Elizabeth are really good friends, and they have this nice, unique friendship. And hearing Nathan say that, Elizabeth not only did not expect it, I mean, she's gonna marry Lucas no matter what, but hearing that from Nathan is very comforting, and I'm pretty sure it took off some stress off of her. Now she knows that Nathan likes Lucas as a friend, and he likes him for her, and he sees how special the relationship is between Lucas and Elizabeth, and he wants them to be happy together, and he knows that they are meant to be together for the rest of their lives. And she hugged him, and that shows how much it meant for her to hear that from him. And of course, Nathan threw in his sense of humor again. He's like, oh, you're hugging me too long, people are gonna start noticing, and you can see her eyes roll. Nathan, I don't hear what other people said. We are friends, and basically she's like, I appreciate you telling me that. Without saying that, I mean, she basically hugged him in response.
Nathan? Nathan.
Wow. Nice to see you around.
Are you upset?
No. Actually, I think I'm relieved.
Faith and May starting to remind me of Nathan and Lucas, but Nathan and Lucas didn't start off on a good note with each other, if you remember season 6. But in this case, Faith and May, they formed a really nice work relationship, and they started to become more than just that. They became friends, and even though May was a mysterious woman the first time she came into Hope Valley, Faith and May worked it out together in their working relationship and became closer than just as co-workers. They became friends. And in this scene, I can see Faith she doesn't want to have anything against May, she doesn't want to hate her or have any grudges, and she knows there's something between May and Nathan, and she tried to deny her own feeling for Nathan, and she doesn't want to get it in the way of her friendship with May and as well with her friendship with Nathan. So this is a tough situation. If you were in Faith's shoes, you're just like, okay, I might like the guy, but my new friend here, she might like him too. And you know that saying, like, you don't want to like the same guy that your friend like, you know? There's a certain like friendhood, like, hey, we should not be fighting or going after the same guy because, you know, you're gonna create conflicts in your friendship. Faith just like want to protect herself, but she also want to protect her friendship with Nathan and May. I'm pretty sure she doesn't want to lose them over her feeling for Nathan.
This is my last will and testament.
Bill.
And I don't want you to be dramatic. I'm not going, well, wherever one goes anytime soon, so let there be no hand-wringing here. But as an attorney, I do advise my clients to get their affairs in order before they may need to. Do you have any more grape juice?
Without asking what Faith said.
There are things that can help. That'll mean time for me in Union City.
Okay, Mike Hickam is stepping down as the mayor, right? So who would be Lee, Bill? And we'll talk more about that later on. However, I did not expect this scene between Bill and Elizabeth. I got a little bit emotional. I'm like, Bill, don't do this to us. Don't do this. And Elizabeth became emotional too. She's like, okay, this is really serious. Like, you know, like, what's going on with you, health-wise? And she was very respectful of Bill's relationship with Faith. Like, whatever the diagnosis is, like, she didn't want to be an intruder and be nosy about it. But it shows that Bill trusts Elizabeth so much, and Bill is the godfather, right, of little Jack, and it's just he trusts her by giving her that, his last will, his last testament, and in anything happens, like Elizabeth would know what he wants as his last wishes. Again, it was an emotional scene, and watching Elizabeth facial expression in this moment, I'm like, don't do this to us, Bill. And he's stepping away. He will be in Union City, so that made me question, like, who's gonna replace Mike Hickam?
Have you seen Lucas? No.
Are you okay? Is anyone inside?
I don't know.
Elizabeth knows that Lucas was supposed to be at home at night, like Nathan said, so her first thought, like, have you seen Lucas? Rosemary, like, no, and she's like, oh my goodness, is he stuck inside the saloon, not being able to escape? And Lucas came into town on his horse, and of course Elizabeth was relieved. And it was really thoughtful of Lucas, like, oh, is anyone inside? Is everyone okay? And it shows that he still takes it seriously, like he's still responsible for anyone inside the saloon because he's the one that manages it. So he's like the captain of the ship. He's like, okay, it's everyone outside of the saloon, because if someone's stuck inside that building, that won't look good on Lucas' reputation. What started the fire? That's my other question.
I suppose it could have been a lot worse.
How am I going to repay Hickam this time? After the Derek fire, I tried to send him on vacation.
You really did save the day.
Yes. Tom's dart is gone.
Oh.
my legacy may never be any better than his.
I very much doubt that.
I'm glad the saloon wasn't 100% burned down. I mean, like Elizabeth said, it had happened a lot worse. Lucas, you can tell that he was very disappointed, and I think the fire lowered his confidence and his self-esteem as who he is as a businessman. He was responsible for everyone in the saloon and whatever happens at the saloon, and a fire happened, and that's not good, and that can delay the success of his business as the saloon owner, and no one really can go there to eat and stay overnight at the lodging. So Lucas okay, what should I do next for the saloon? How long will it take to get it repaired and build it back up? Is he gonna do something else? Is he going to step away from managing the saloon? There are more questions for Lucas now than he had out in the woods the previous night. That's how I sense it.
You know, I never actually opened your letter.
It explained where I was going and why.
I had a feeling I knew what it said.
She still did not open his letter. You see the look on Lucas' face. He's like you're supposed to open the letter. That's the point of me writing you a letter. He probably was also thinking oh my goodness, were you scared? Were you nervous? If you read the letter, it would have brought some comfort to Elizabeth.
You were blaming yourself for any danger you might have caused Jack and me with Walden. And you were doing the same about the mine potentially reopening. And with the sale of the oil company, you were feeling unsure about what you'd do next in business.
You knew all that without reading my letter?
Elizabeth explained to Lucas about what Lucas is going through himself, and he realized that she knew what he needed to do without opening the letter. And again, they have this in sync mindset. Elizabeth knew Lucas, she knows him really well, and she knew him so well that she didn't open the letter. And I think it brought some relief to Lucas. He's okay, alright, so you did not worry about me that much. You knew what I was going through and why I needed to step away from Hope Valley.
Next time I'll just save the stationery.
When I asked you if you changed your mind about us, about our future together, for some reason I was doubting what I know about you. And I realized there's no need for me to ever doubt you.
Well, I feel the same way about you. But thank you for the reminder.
This is a really important conversation between Lucas and Elizabeth. She was very honest to Lucas about how they question about the future, in that when she has some doubts and she's I know you, I know us, I know our relationship, and I know how we are with one another. We have a strong relationship and we can go through anything together, whether it's something related to you or to me or together as one. We are basically two people as one.
To me, you aren't what you do. Nor are you the sum of your possessions. Even if you'd come back and all of this had been gone, burnt in the fire, there would still be love.
That was a really nice touch from Elizabeth. It's icing on the cake. She's I don't really hear much about who you do in your work, what you have, how much money you have, or who you are to the public life. I know you as just Lucas. I know you personally, and I know you a great guy, and basically her love for him doesn't change regardless if he loses money or he has a lot of money or he has the saloon or he doesn't have the saloon, if he has a job or not, or if he's in the middle of transitioning into what he wants to do next in business. Like, whatever happens, her love for him doesn't change. It's like a steady, unfailing love that she has for him.
Making me the richest man alive.
Vice versa, Lucas saying making me the richest man alive. That's basically similar to what Elizabeth said to Lucas. Like, nothing else matters except for our love for one another and the family that we have created with little Jack.
I've had lots of time to think while I was away. I've always been forthright and plain-spoken, but I wasn't with you. I didn't mean to mislead you, but I didn't tell the truth until it came out on its own.
You're in a bad situation. And I'm happy you're out of it now.
I am too.
Miss Sue!
Hello, Allie.
Hey, we still haven't gone for a ride.
Well, what are you doing now?
Really?
Yeah. Go have fun. I have to work.
Come on.
Nathan seemed very happy that May is back in Hope Valley. It's nice to see them catch up, and it's nice to hear that she is now free from Jeffrey, and the trial went well for her and she was able to come back to Hope Valley. And I think that means something, you know, like she could have just like not go back to Hope Valley, like she could have moved somewhere else after what she went through, but Hope Valley became something special for her, and I think it became a sense of home for her, and I think that's one of the reasons why she came back to Hope Valley. And I think the other reason is Nathan and Allie, and you can see the look that they give each other right before Allie took her hand in this scene. Just that look like, we are good now, we are really on a good page, and May back home in Hope Valley, and Nathan basically have a second chance to be with her if he do decide to go down that path.
Hi.
Hey.
How are your headaches?
Better. Not gone entirely, but better.
Well, let's see if they continue to lessen over the next few weeks. I hear that Bill's mayor again.
That is the rumor, although he hasn't said anything to me yet.
Sorry for the late notice, so there is a lot of things to talk about, so there will be a third and final part after this video. I really want to give all the attention to the last big moment at the end of the episodes in the next video, so there will be another video after this. This scene, Faith and Nathan, there's still something going on between them, but I think if I'm right, I'm guessing that Faith like thinking, okay, Nathan is still my patient. She even asked him about his headache, so that's like, she was like his doctor in that moment. But at the same time, they're like looking at each other, and she hears for him more than just as her patient, but as a friend, and possibly more than a friend. But I think she is trying to move on from Nathan. I think she's just trying to focus like, okay, Nathan is my patient. She just doesn't want to be in a complicated situation with him. And with May, if it do happen to become a love triangle, which I hope not, but I'm still like confused a little bit of where Nathan stands. He had these two lovely ladies with different personalities and different history and just different occupation, and I just hope that Nathan doesn't confuse any of them and he doesn't lead any of them into the wrong direction. Like, I don't want him to give any of these two ladies false signals, you know. And I hope Nathan will be straightforward and honest and open to both of them, regardless of who he decides. I just don't want him to go through what Elizabeth went through. That won't be good. And I'm pretty sure he learned a lot from Elizabeth and Lucas, and I hope he takes those lessons and be a better version of himself if he does become the next Bachelor of Hope Valley.
We're having a baby! We're having a baby! I mean, not right now, but we're gonna have a baby!
Put on some clothes.
Who needs clothes?
Well, at least put on some slippers.
I love you.
I love you.
We're having a baby.
Finally, Rosemary told Lee that she's pregnant, and she felt flutters in her stomach, and it was one of the early signs that you know that you are pregnant for sure, according to what Faith told Rosemary at the doctor appointment. Lee is very excited. I'm so happy for the family. Like, finally, like, they are going to have a child of their own, or twins, you never know. So this is why I was like, wait, so Mike stepped down as the mayor. People assume Bill would take over because Bill knows the town really well, but he's going through something personal, and he's already an attorney, and he do so much with Nathan when it comes to Mountie stuff. Isn't Lee used to manage the, I'm sorry if I'm wrong, the lumber company? And I feel like Joseph been helping him a lot on that, and Lee is more focused on the Valley Boys, right? But now Rosemary's pregnant, she can only work until a certain time period before she step away on a maternity leave. So Lee has to be the backup at the Valley Boys. So you know what I mean? I feel like everyone is all over the place, and I'm wondering if they will do another election, a re-election, or they're gonna pick someone random.